Hey, I'm Tan Vinh, and this is Seattle Eats, a food podcast from the Seattle Times and KUOW. Seattle ice cream is, unique. You would have an easier time finding ice cream with granola pieces, activated charcoal, or Korean beer than plain Neapolitan. This is a weird ice cream city, and the scene is growing, and they're not being vanilla about it. Locally owned Molly Moon's has 11 locations around the Seattle area, including 2 new spots along the waterfront and in West Seattle. And most neighborhoods have an independent scoop server, like Husky's Deli in West Seattle and the new PJ's Classic in the Central District. But one ice cream business is betting big on the Seattle market. Salt and Straw is opening 4 new locations in 2025, including one at Pike Place Market. They're the kind of shop known for putting cookies and cream right next to pear and blue cheese ice cream. And today, Tyler Malek, head ice cream maker for Salt and Straw, will explain why keeping Seattle ice cream weird is good for business. He's even brought a few flavors for me to taste test, and guess what they are? Then, Tyler will break down his unique R&D process and tell us about the worst ice cream he has ever made. Ready? Let's go! Seattle Eaters, we have a new guest in the house, Tyler Malek. He is the founder of Salt and Straw Ice Cream and the mastermind behind all those KUOW flavors. Fish sauce caramel, bone marrow and smoked cherries. That's right. Chili crisp and peanut butter cups. I can't wait to dive into all this. Tyler Malek, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so excited. What a lead up.
I'm excited. I've been trying to get you for months. I'm glad this is finally happening.
Destiny.
Tyler, Salt and Straw is from Portland. You live in Portland. But I kind of claim you as a Seattleite. You grew up in Snohomish.
Yep.
You graduated from Western Washington University. And, little known fact, you learned how to make ice cream because you brought a $4 ice cream maker at a Goodwill in Seattle. So, boom, Tyler and Salt and Straw is Seattle, not Portland. I'm sorry.
Also, like Portland, Seattle, like Pacific Northwest, we got to stick together. Like this is home to us.
And you're opening 4 places in Seattle in 2025.
Yeah.
Why the big bet in the Seattle market?
Oh, I'm in love with Seattle. I mean, this is home to me. There's these little known secrets. I think these tidbits. Everyone in Seattle loves to buy and taste our seasonal flavors more than anyone else in the country. So we've got shops in California and in New York City, and just Seattle has this craving for that seasonal kind of creativity, which is what I put all of my love into when I'm creating our flavors, is that seasonal menu, just constantly innovating.
So the one that everyone's excited about, not to like poo-poo the other 3 Seattle area location, Queen Anne, Bellevue, and Redmond, people are excited about Pike Place Market.
Yeah.
It is one of your biggest stores to date.
I'm in love with the shop and just the energy on that street. They close down first there, so you just walk and eat ice cream. And we're already talking to some of the farmers and maybe the fish market down there to see what we can do to integrate some of those just iconic ingredients. So it's just like, it's a dream come true.
Oh, I bet, because I recall, talking about Pike Place, you actually did a Beecher's cheese ice cream flavor. I'm going to have to apologize to our listeners because you have to live vicariously through me. Because I'm not staring at Tyler right now because next to Tyler is like a tray of ice cream.
It's just perfectly tempered too. I can tell.
I have ice creams in front of me. The labels are covered, so I'm going to do my best to guess. And then you're going to review the flavor and give me the backstory.
You ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to try this tub first. Honestly, Tyler, I thought this ice cream flavor was a trick. At first, it tastes like French vanilla and nothing else. But what I'm tasting is sort of like a Hostess blueberry pie or pie filling. I'm going to take one more bite. There's definitely fresh fruit here. I don't think it's an artificial flavor. I'm going to say it is blueberry pie in vanilla base.
Let's unveil it.
Dun, dun, dun. The flavor is vanilla apple custard tart.
I love this one.
So what is that skin? Am I tasting the apple skin?
The apple. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
which I could see that similar acid profile, like a little bit of that malic acid between the blue. Sorry, this is TMI. That malic acid is common in both blueberries and apples. So these are all Washington apples, mostly Granny Smith, but we kind of blend them, grate them up, and cook them down into this apple pie custard, almost like an egg custard, just with apple pie filling baked into it, and then fold that into a really rich vanilla custard ice cream with a little bit of apple juice mixed in. So that apple is coming through on multiple layers. But I'm in love with this because just the richness of a really good custard is hard to make. Not many people make it because it uses a lot of eggs. If you use enough eggs, that custard comes out really dark yellow, gives just a really, really decadent richness to it.
Is this a seasonal flavor?
Yeah.
Like for fall?
The whole menu right now is all about Pacific Northwest apples.
Oh.
So it's all different forms of apples in 5 different ways. Yep.
Oh, wow. I can see that serving at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be a perfect dessert. Okay.
And I'm trying the second one. It looks kind of sort of like matcha, slushy. The texture's like a sorbet.
I know this one already.
What is that? It's like it's an Asian fruit. It's like a candy Asian fruit. I had this as a bubble tea and I can't place it. Don't say anything, Tyler.
Okay.
One more
I want to
second.
give you hints. I don't want to cheat.
No, I just had this in freaking Richmond, BC as a bubble tea flavor.
Okay, but I have to tell. Okay, can I give you one hint? This is from a farm here in Washington that is one of the most iconic slow food movement, one of the most iconic farms
Oh, wow.
in the country at Finn River.
Oh, so this is like a cider.
Yep.
Ah, Finn River cider.
And we're using they do a hopped apple cider. And so we took their hops, we used their cider, and literally just cider is almost destined to be made into a sorbet. So it almost has a little bit of that like carbonation left in it.
So the alchemy, it's just ideal.
Yeah, and the hops are just really fruity. So I could see where that's giving almost like a little bit of that Asian pear, like the bitterness of an Asian pear.
Yeah.
So you get the sweetness from the apples, the bitterness from those hops.
Cider sorbet. Great. I should say Finn River stuff is great for food pairing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, all their brandies, their ciders, like we've made maybe a dozen flavors with them in the past 15 years, and I'm just in love with that farm, what they do over there.
What should you look for in an ice cream? Texture, flavor, temperature, ice flakes, whatever.
The first spoonful of ice cream I ever have at a new ice cream shop is vanilla. And I know that sounds so simple and basic, but the reality is it tells you so much about their ice cream. You bite it, you kind of push it up against the back of your teeth, you can feel the ice crystals, you can feel the butter fat content. If you take a pint and you lift it up, you'll feel the weight to it. That's another indicator. So a good quality ice cream will literally weigh twice as much. Our pints of ice cream here weigh twice as much as what you might get at the grocery store. And that's because there's twice as much product in there versus a cheaper ice cream might have twice as much air. Feeling that fat content, feeling the quality is precious for me and easy to tell once you start eating more ice cream.
Great.
Okay, what do you have next?
I'm guessing this is strawberry.
Yeah.
And I love your strawberry ice cream more than anywhere else because I think strawberry is really hard to pull off.
It's nearly impossible. I mean, I've tasted maybe almost 100 different strawberry ice creams in my life. It's impossible to do a really good strawberry, just straight strawberry ice cream, because there's so much fat, and there's so much cream, there's so much sugar in ice cream, just inherently. The juiciness of the strawberries can't shine through. Just if you want a purest strawberry, is either a sorbet or a gelato. Gelato is about half the fat of ice cream. For an ice cream, we start playing with different ways to amp up the strawberry. So in this case, we amp up the acidity with this really beautiful honey balsamic vinegar from Northern California. And then we actually replace some of the berry notes with a little bit of black pepper, which I know sounds funny, but if you get a really, really good black pepper and freshly grind it, it has almost this rich, like dried berry note to it. Blending those together, we're actually kind of augmenting the flavor of the strawberry. And then when you add just this Oregon strawberry jam in as a swirl, it just shows up beautifully.
Tyler, this is the most well-crafted ice cream I've had at Salt and Straw. I normally don't like strawberry ice cream, but in this one, I can taste the strawberry. And when I tasted the balsamic, I said, how is this not dominating the flavor? This is nicely done.
This is also our classic menu. I've made a few 100,000 gallons of this in my life. So slowly over the course of years, I've been tweaking that recipe, getting it better and better since we were a food cart in Portland.
Oh, wow. So this is one of the original.
One of the first recipes I ever wrote.
All right. I'm trying the next flavor. I'll take 3 or 4 bites here. It's like pickle juice.
Okay.
It tastes like pickle juice to me, but there's some savory component, and I can't quite pinpoint it.
Oh,
but it is a dead ringer with pickle juice. What it is or not, I don't know. Melon? What is that?
I'm so excited for this. The wrapper comes off.
Pickle cucumber sorbet?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
You're probably getting that dill, which I could see like that herbaceousness, almost like fresh herbs, almost have like a pseudo Vietnamese flair to them, you know?
Yeah. It has a component of like a lot of vermicelli noodles.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. So we freshly juice cucumbers. We add fresh dill. And then we also use dill pickle brine. And so between the fresh herbs and the fresh cucumbers, like balanced with that like intense savoriness of the brine, it's pretty intense. It's a fun sorbet.
It'll be good spiked.
Pour a little shot of vodka on top, a little bit of fresh horseradish, the perfect summer drink.
Yeah. This is the genius of Salt and Straw. It's been like 25 seconds since that last bite, and I can still taste the flavor. It's like it's an intense sous vide, that intense, juicy flavor. That's incredible.
Good. Cool. Yeah. And that's the other thing. You can come into Salt and Straw and just taste all of these. And even if you hate the pickle sorbet, that's great. That was kind of fun to taste it, right?
Yes.
And then just get, the cookie dough, which is also a really good flavor.
So Tyler, it's not just freestyling, just on the whim. It takes a lot of research. So tell me, what is the R&D process when you come up with these flavors?
I mean, from the get-go at Salt and Straw, we wanted to almost bring this sense of fine dining to ice cream, both from like a flavor perspective and the hospitality perspective. Looking at some of the icons like even Canlis and Gramercy Tavern in New York, and like some of these places where you go in and you're kind of whisked away on a journey. I want everyone to sample at least 5 to 10 flavors while you're there, because that's part of the experience. It's almost like a tasting menu. I want you to put your phone away and look at the server in the eye and have a great one-to-one connection. It's something that I think, especially in quick service, is kind of disappearing. And I think we have this power through ice cream to kind of create a connection that doesn't exist very often. And so I say that all because, like, from the R&D perspective, I need to create flavors that provoke those conversations and provoke that connection, and also do it in a really delicate and beautiful and thoughtful way. People get to come in and have this conversation around food that doesn't really exist anywhere else but in ice cream.
Even with all this logic, it doesn't explain to me how you come up with a flavor like pig's blood pudding ice cream.
That was for Halloween. And
you're trying to scare people. Is that the theme?
I had it in my head that if I could collaborate with anyone for Halloween, it would be Dracula's grandmother. And I just feel like she would have a really incredible blood pudding recipe.
And I think it's safe to say that you are a family-owned restaurant and you don't rely on focus groups.
Yeah.
I would say.
No, we've done
because no corporation or focus group is like, oh, Tyler, pig's blood pudding. That's great. We'll spend a lot of money making this.
Not many. How many chefs have you met that listen to focus groups? We're pretty stubborn.
Yes. So I would imagine this is when I knew that Tyler runs the show. He's a captain of the ship. He freaking put pig's blood pudding ice cream on store shelves. That is amazing. Yeah. And does it taste like blood pudding?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's so good. It's got just a touch of copperiness at the very end, which I think is what you look for. Makes a great blood pudding. The blend of spices, when I was working on the recipe, Chris Cosentino came into my kitchen. He's just this iconic chef, really well known for his meat preparation. And so he wrote down his ideal spice blend and how to kind of get those spices to come through. And good blood pudding has this beautiful balance of both like accentuating the blood and that kind of meatiness and copperiness of the blood, but also covering it up just a little bit. That's what you get out of the ice cream.
Tell me when it didn't work, when you thought it was a great idea, you kept R&D'ing it, you went through 100 different takes, and it didn't work.
I remember in our test kitchen, one of my team members, she admitted to me a couple years later, she's like, I never told you, but when we were working on this recipe, I would go into my car and just cry about how bad it was every test we did. And we were prepping for a food festival in Portland called Feast, and it was going to be the Sandwich Invitational. We were all going to be throwing down for the best sandwich in Portland. And I thought, how cool would it be to make a crab roll Neapolitan ice cream with Oregon Dungeness crabs, like a crab bisque ice cream next to like an Old Bay seasoning ice cream, lemon sorbet, and this Neapolitan with 3 flavors, and you scoop through it and put it on the toasted buttered roll. And crab ice cream should not exist ever. I promise you, there's no way to make it good. There's no way to make it not taste like crab. We pivoted literally the night before the event. I called up because the Oregon Crab Commission was giving us a ton of crab, like hundreds of pounds of Dungies. It's worth a lot. And I called him up the night before and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'll give you all the crabs back, I promise, but we can't make this ice cream. And we used all of our ingredients, the rolls and everything. We made a PB&J ice cream sandwich, and we won best in show.
You did?
Yeah.
How about that?
Just buried that crab roll ice cream recipe for many, many years.
Wow. I feel like I've eaten like a month's worth of ice cream.
Oh my gosh, this is a marathon of ice cream eating. You're not taking just one bite each time. You're analyzing it and taking 3 to 4 bites. I appreciate this. I should have grabbed a spoon and joined you. I feel so guilty.
Tyler, I remember 10 years ago, Salt and Straw has more of like a cult following, but now it's such a big brand. It's in 7 states and about 50 locations and growing.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of pressure to go more mainstream, or do you feel more pressure to zig when everyone zags?
I think from my perspective, yes and no. Like, what's interesting is like the industry in ice cream, I think a lot of people are trying to create these recipes that for shock appeal. And I don't think we've ever entered ice cream making from that perspective at Salt and Straw. And I know that's like, at least from the inside, we're always trying to tell really cohesive, thoughtful stories. And I think there's ways that a lot of those stories can be provocative in fun ways. You know, even we were talking about the pig's blood, like it came from this really funny place, trying to work with Dracula's grandmother for the recipe, you know, but that's the idea of like, how do you create this funness and thoughtfulness in everything you do so that it shows when you have this moment of hospitality at a Salt and Straw and you get whisked away on this taste adventure, that you have kind of something to learn about and taste through and something to kind of talk about with your friends. And at the end of the day, if you're fighting with your best friend over whether or not pear and blue cheese ice cream should exist and whether or not you like it, that's like a fun thing to fight over, you know, and that means that we're kind of creating this connection that doesn't really exist anywhere else.
That's great. So, Tyler, you've convinced me. I want to try this blood pudding now.
I'm so happy.
Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Go take a nap after all that ice cream.
That's it for today. Thanks for listening to Seattle Eats. The show is a production of the Seattle Times and KUOW, part of the NPR network. You can support Seattle Eats by investing in the local newsroom and the specialized beats that make this sort of storytelling possible. Please consider joining and subscribing at KUOW.org/eats and SeattleTimes.com. Seattle Eats is produced by Brandy Fullwood and Claire McGrain and edited by Jim Gates and Trevor Lensmeyer. I'm Tan Vinh. See you next week.